2023 Golden Slipper and All-Star Mile Day, a racing odyssey that had it all. The Thriller, where the gutsy front-running Lindemann held on in the Rosehill Guineas.
Drifting out Pericles from Lindemann, lifting hard. Oh, it's a thriller in the Guineas.
A heartwarmer.
Maria Mia wins the Group 1 Galaxy.
As apprentice Tyler Schiller dedicated a breakthrough Group 1 win in the Galaxy to his dad.
He's got cancer. All he wanted to see was me win a Group 1 and to come out and do it today. Oh, it was unreal.
International star power. Globe-trotting Ryan Moore blew them away in the Randbend.
Your boy on can't handle a dry track. Look at him go.
Before backing up in the Slipper.
But Shinzo and Ryan Moore had drawn clear to win the Golden Slipper.
Giving Chris Waller a Grand Slam of majors.
Racing.
The Rockstar. Mr. Brightside made it an all-star day for the Hayes brothers.
Mr. Brightside in front and Mr. Brightside has won them all.
Luke Curry and a retired butler with a $250,000 Globe. And what about the King?
Animo lays it down.
The Big A, who showed all his champion qualities in the George Ryder.
Animo's George Ryder.
5 stunning Group 1s and an epic all-star mile. It truly was a day to savour.
It's one that we'll remember, that's for sure. And this is our Group 1 leaderboard on the final Metro day of the season. Jockeys, James McDonald with 11 Group 1s, so that's his highest total in his career so far.
And Chris Waller is the champion Australian trainer. Animo, the champion Group 1 horse of the season, Alligator Blood. And we had a host of horses there that had 2 wins, including Dubai Honour, that we reflected on. Jacquinot, who goes off to stud. Militarise, who was one of the stories, wasn't he, as a 2-year-old?
Absolutely. And Mickey D there, don't forget him with the 6 Group
great.
1s. He's back from Hong Kong riding at the Valley today. Let's take a look at some of our moments of the season. What was yours, Richo? What was your favourite?
Well, a moment, not necessarily my favourite, but a moment that just stuck with me throughout the season, and maybe more on the retrospective now that we think about it. But the Newmarket, when Jamie Carr had that horrible fall, and then James Cummings looked around and tried to find a jockey to ride in secret, and he found Dean Holland. Executed perfectly. And then tragically, a number of weeks later, we lost Dean Holland. So this is a moment now, through retrospectively, that I look back and think that's a day we'll never forget.
Still so hard to see those pictures of Dean Holland, and we remember him and his final Group 1 victory in the season that was. For me, it was another Godolphin highlight, and it has to be the Cox Plate. Of course, Animo in the year prior was done by State of Rest in that controversial protest, and James McDonald hadn't won a Cox Plate, James Cummings hadn't won one, and for them all to combine to do this with a horse who, let's be honest, he's an absolute superstar, but there was always the doubters on his back as to whether he was able to win the Weight for Age Championship of Australasia. Was very, very special and meant a lot to all of the connections there. So we saw that Slipper Day was a special one with 5 Group 1s at Rosehill Gardens, but also the All-Star Mile. But what about that day in October last year where we had the Caulfield Cup and the Everest on the same day?
The 145th running of the Caulfield Cup. Sets and they're racing. At the 200, Gold Trip up to Numerian Knight's Order, and then came Durston getting out. Gold Trip, 100 metres to go, just in front. Durston is coming at Gold Trip and got up. Durston has got up to win it for Mickey D from Gold Trip.
And the most important sprinting race in the world, the Everest, is about to be run.
The gates are back, they're off and racing. Eduardo jumped well. So did Nature Strip on the outside. They swing now. Eduardo and Nature Strip head and head up the rise, and a thriller here on the Everest, and Nature Strip given the cue by McDonald, and the champ races to the lead by a length of Eduardo. Private Eyes running on, then came over past Shades of Rose, Jacquinot and Giga Kick. Nature Strip a length in front. Private Eye, Giga Kick down the outside, wins the Everest.
Oh, what a day that was. That was absolutely exquisite, with Craig Williams getting the job done for Clayton Douglas on Giga Kick. When we reflect on what are the great stories of the season, Craig Williams is to the forefront for both of our suggestions. For mine, I'm looking once again at the human element of it. And Craig Williams, while other jockeys are off having holidays and sitting on beaches, What's he doing? He and his wife Lisa and their family are making their way over to Ukraine and trying to help soldiers there in fighting this war against Russia, and also trying to raise awareness to the plight of the Ukrainian people. He's got a documentary that's going to come out, and you see Craig hands-on fixing roofs, tiles on roofs and the like. He is a remarkable guy that I think everyone in the racing industry should be really proud of.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you put it perfectly there. I guess for me, the real storyline of the season was Giga Kick, because he wins a maiden at Sale and then 4 starts later, he ends up winning the richest sprinting race on turf in the Everest. Absolutely extraordinary. Then he backs it up in the autumn, and this was the question, is he actually a Group 1 class horse? My word is he wins the all-aged here over the 1,400 metres at Randwick, and then he heads up to Brisbane and wins another one in the Doomben 10,000. So Clayton Douglas becomes a 2-time Group 1 winning trainer with this horse, and then, as you said, Craig Williams, he's at the forefront because he is...